Hi, I'm Ron Paulk, designer of the Paulk Workbench, and today is the final episode of the awesome rolling toolbox designing in SketchUp. From here on out, the series continues in the shop. If you like these videos and you find them helpful, subscribe to my channel. I have over 80 videos there and more to come. And also, please share them on your social media and with your friends. Over at my website, Paulk Homes, you can find the Paulk Homes store where you can purchase the plans for my total station, my workbench, miter stand, crosscut jig, and as well as some packages. Once you make the purchase, you'll receive an email in a matter of minutes. At the bottom of that email, you will find a download link and a password. This is the final version of the rolling toolbox. I've set up these tabs just to go through views. So you can see the right side showing where the tools go, the view tainers, the workbench, a couple of miter saws, as well as a lot of storage, and then the nice drawers that I'll be able to get a lot of tools and accessories in these. On the left side, I have these fabulous cubbies that I've been using for years. These are great for power tools and nail guns. Can organize them really well and see them. It keeps them protected. They won't fall out with this lip there. This is just a proven technique, and I'll continue to use that. And then as well as many, many drawers. And as time changes, of course, these are pretty easy to remodel. I can just make a taller drawer like this, which replaces two of these. Made a copy of all the cabinets, and then I moved them over to their own layer. I created a new layer. I called it Material, and another layer called Plywood. Plywood are these rectangles. They're all 4x8 rectangles. I've color coded them based on the thickness. And by doing this, I was able to take that copy of the cabinets, explode them, and then lay them out on plywood so I could get a visual representation of how much I need. So you can see the red is the 3/4 I need the most of, and then the 1/4 inch and the 3/8 and the half. And just as a quick side note, if you followed along with me, these are the drawer bases here. They're all designed with 1/4 inch ply. I decided to go to 3/8, so that's what this is, 3/8. And I don't need to change any of the design. Remember, all the dados for the drawers are 1/2 inch, and that still gives me room to have the screw head that keeps them locked into position. I just felt like the 1/4 inch, I looked at it in the shop and I just thought it might be a little too flexible on some of the larger drawers. Some of the smaller drawers, they would be fine, but I want to keep them uniform. Now, if I wanted to, I could spend more time and organize these, kind of like putting a puzzle together. I could click on a piece and move it around and just like a big puzzle and move them around and maybe cut a sheet of plywood out. But I just wanted to get a general idea. I have lots of material in the shop, so I'm going to be buying far less than this anyway. And also, I estimated on what I've got here with what I pay for plywood, I would spend about $800 on this plywood. So you can compare that to buying toolboxes that wouldn't be custom. So a lot of time, but save quite a bit of money to be able to build a shop like that for $800 out of pocket. Now, one other thing I would do is if I were going to set this up to cut in the shop and really be a good set of plans, these would all be numbered. So the cabinets would each have a number. So it would have gone in, and this cabinet might be number 6. And I would have then every piece from that cabinet, I would have labeled it number 6. And that way I could just move them around to get them to fit the best for the most efficient. But as I were cutting them, I would mark them with a pencil in the shop, number 6, and then just stack all the 6s, all the 5s, the 4s, the 3s, the 2s, the 1s, etc. together. This model is available for you to download from the SketchUp warehouse. So I'm going to start with a new Untitled SketchUp file. And then I'm going to click on Get Models. And you can do this with SketchUp Make. You don't have to have the Pro version. So I've clicked into Get Models. And all I'm going to do is just search Paulk. And it'll show the models I've uploaded. So I click on the awesome rolling toolbox. Click Download. OK. Now you'll see that it downloads the model. You see how big the bounding box is. That's because in the view, the materials and the plywood are turned off. But you can see that's where they're at. Now, The one thing that you did not get were the tabs across the top. They do not upload with the model. At least I haven't been able to get them to do so. So I wanted to show you, if you wanted to create those tabs, they're really handy to change your view really quickly, and they'll change all of your settings and record those settings without making your model any larger. So you'll see there's no scenes or tab bar across here, and you can't just add it. So if you click on this, there's just nothing to do. But if you go to Window and look here in the 4th panel down, you'll see Scenes. Click on Scenes, just hit plus, and then close that. And that scene is what you see here. So now I want to come in and I want to start with, this is what I want my first scene to be. And I don't want to see the material in the plywood because it's way on the other side. So at that point, I want to click Update. I'll show you what happens if I don't click Update. So I've got the view I want, and you see that material and plywood is off. If I click Scene 1, it goes right back to where it was because that scene was not updated. So I'll turn off the material, turn off the plywood, get into the view that I want. So this is my starting scene. I want to first go in here and update, and then I want to rename it. And I'm right clicking, and here you see it says rename. And so now I want to say have a right side view just looking at the toolboxes without the walls. So I'll jump up here with these presets, and I will come over here and turn off the walls and the left side, and I don't need to see sang there. And then I'll zoom it in to where I want it. And also you can see it's kind of 3D, it looks good, but if I want to have a flat perspective, go into camera and change it to parallel projection. And then I zoom back in. You can see how now it's flat. And this is more like a line drawing you'd have on a piece of paper. So now I have that done. I want to right click, I want to add another scene. I want to grab that scene and I want to update it. Now if I go to Start View, it goes back to where it was, and right side takes me right there, and it changes the camera from the parallel, or from the perspective to the parallel. So it remembers all of those settings. And then if I want to add another tab, and I want to say turn off the right side and the tools and the floor, and I want to see the material and the plywood. Now I'm going to right click, update, right click, rename, material layout. So, and again, I did update it, but I'll just double check there. So now you see I click on this, changes all the layer settings and check marks. One of the advantages of doing this, besides making it quick and easy to jump around and get the scenes that you need to, dimension or whatever, if you're using the Pro version, you have another program called Layout, and you send that over, and that's the program that's designed to make flat plans, just the way I made my workbench plans. And in there, I would dimension and have every single one of these tabs would go in with it, and they would be a view. So I could just click on them and have them be separate. These would be separate pages that I could then print out as PDFs. And of course I could make notations. Layout is much of a notation and detail set of plans. But again, that's the Pro version. Everything I'm doing that you're seeing here today can be done in SketchUp Pro or SketchUp Make, which is their free version. So one of the things I might do in this plan was to come in here to the right side view and take my dimension tool and make dimensions. Now dimensions, I'll want to do them on a separate layer, and so what I will do is add a layer. I'll call it dimensions. So after creating the dimension layer, I'll go in and put in the dimensions that I need. The other thing I can do on the dimension pages is I can change the texture from showing the texture to white. But before I'll do that, I'll add a scene. I'll rename this scene. Right click and update. On my dimension page, I could do a lot more dimensions, but I'm just showing you how I would do it. So this view, then I went ahead and turned off the textures so that it's a little easier to see the dimensions. I draw everything on the 0 layer, so these dimensions currently are on the main layer, so they would show up on everything. So I'm just going to quickly select all of these. I will put them on the dimension layer. And then if I turn the dimension layer off, you can see, so you always want to put your dimensions on their own layer so you can turn them off and on. But so I have them on in the right side dimensions. I will update that. So I have my dimensions on their own layer. They're showing up on here. So I can jump back to the other right side. Now you notice I have no texture on this. And I go here and you see the dimensions went away, but the texture didn't come back. At this point, I don't think the styles are recorded in your tab. So yeah, I just have to click on there. And of course, I would be exporting these to PDFs or directly to print. So I would export them showing the way I wanted to show. So if I go back to right side dimensions and then click on the white only, and then I can print that. So that's the way you do tabs, and they're very, very handy. They just help you utilize SketchUp in a more efficient manner. All right, so you have the whole series of designing in SketchUp, and now we're going to follow through with building this design in the shop. Hopefully you've picked up some tips and techniques for designing for your projects, and thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.